2, 1, go. Alright, here we go. RMP versus Shadowplay. Khuna wandering back and forth, ready to stealth, and there he does stealth in right now. A beautiful stealth. You can see Cdew throwing that Riptide. That was actually an unleashed Riptide right now, so he's throwing it on himself. He feels like he's going to be the target.
He very likely will be. I mean, we've seen this RMP just loves to kill those healers. There's a grounding down, though. Are they going to be able to get it? Yes, there is a Dispel on that grounding. We do see that the Polymorph is going to come out. Looks like it didn't land, though. Frostfire Bolt coming in onto Tenderloin, but not as much damage as this RMP would have liked here in the opener. You know, Talbadar did have to trinket that blind instantly as well.
Yeah, look at Xandyn, man. He's really going all out, popping Icy Veins, popping his on-use cooldowns. And Snutz actually putting Curse of Weakness up on Khuna. He doesn't want him doing as much damage. Full dots onto Khuna right now. Khuna throwing a kidney shot. Looks like he was either missed or something like that, but Cdew took a big hit right there from Xandyn. He's at 34%.
But look at Zunniyaki. He's getting spiked. He's at 40%. He has to heal himself. And Khuna down to 20% HP. He's trying to get out of there. Both of these players need to be picked back up. And the RMP just committed so much to Tenderloin. But guess what? They didn't get Trinket. They didn't get NS. They did not get Link. So that could be huge. They are going to Smoke Bomb onto Snutz. So he has no Trinket available. There's a cheap shot and the kidney shot. A dance coming out of Khuna, spamming out those backstabs with the rest of his energy. So he's trying to get as much done as he can right here. And Snutz isn't in the best spot. Cdew's actually re-fear warded. A really great timing. I think he's actually going to immune the fear from Zunniyaki. Awesome play by Talbadar.
Yeah, that was really good. And when that bomb went down, Talbadar ran in and started flash healing. But Xandyn is taking a lot of damage right now. Silence onto Zunniyaki. Khuna taking a lot of damage too, man. Look at this spread pressure. It's absolutely insane. Khuna switching all onto Cdew, throws him in the kidney. Cdew earth shields himself. And if they put him in a blind right now, he won't have an earth shield on their target, but he actually doesn't have a blind. I'm sorry. A hex onto Xandyn. Cdew's so good, able to cast those hexes even when he has someone hitting him, but Zunniyaki's taking a lot of damage, man. He's at 60%.
One thing to note, though, Khuna's out of combat, so if he can get a shield, he will be able to get the re-stealth. He does re-stealth, goes in for that cheap shot, but he's unable to get it before the corruption pops him. You know, Zunniyaki, although they're taking tons of damage, he is doing a good job conserving his mana. He's been quite good so far, but you know, they're playing on the portal, so they have to be careful because we could just see, you know, a port over from Snutz. He's going to actually redrop his port in the middle of the map, which I do like. Cdew's going to pull back. He's probably just going to go for a drink here, and I mean, Cdew is drinking. He's going to get 100% mana. He hasn't blown a cooldown. This is incredible play.
And there's the dance from Khuna onto Talbadar, down to 65% already. Looks like they're even hitting the water elemental, which is very smart for the Shadow Play to do. Talbadar running, trying to get the fear onto Zunniyaki. Looks like he does not get it off. It is still on cooldown, but he had me tricked. He's at 70%, throwing out a Mind Spike. Looks like he probably got kicked on or something. Khuna throws a kidney shot onto Talbadar. Talbadar at 15%. He's going to have to disperse.
There's
way too much damage.
Deep freeze, though, onto Tenderloin. Are they going to swap over onto him? No, it's just used for CC. There's the poly, instantly emptied by Talbadar, and Xandyn in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to block. There is a gouge onto Talb, so he can't empty it. He's just going to swap the pressure over onto Zunniyaki, getting those dots up.
By Snutz. He threw a death quill onto Zunniyaki so he couldn't heal the ice block, and it reflected. You said that wasn't a good mana gem. I proved you wrong today, sir. Look at that. A counter spell coming out from
swap over onto Tenderloin. This could be huge. They need to get something done. Tenderloin does have to trinket, so at least they've got that cooldown now. You know, but he's so high on mana. They need to get the pressure rolling. Zunniyaki, though, in the meantime, in so much trouble. He's down to 40% HP. In that sounds 30% HP. Catches a shield. A big psychic string go coming out from Talbadar on all three players. Zunniyaki's into the disarm, popping that pain suppression. He really needs some help from his team here. He's mind controlled, though, with full dots. Nice mind control from Talbadar. That is not going to be interrupted. And Zunniyaki just barely is going to be able to survive, get back here behind the pillar. But in the meantime, you know, Talbadar is just trying to get those dots up onto Xandyn, onto Khuna. They have good pressure coming out of Snutz. Tenderloin is at half HP, though, no trinket, and bad positioning in the middle of the map here, and he could get shattered. Going to be dropping down to about 40% HP.
Yeah, that's rough. You know, Talbadar didn't actually have to help him out too much. I think he threw him a shield, but that was pretty much it. But there's a Spirit Link used, and you know, now this Shadow Play only really has Nature's Swiftness for a defensive cooldown. Obviously, Talbadar does have Disperse, but that's really only for himself. Zunniyaki is
big trouble. He did get bombed on there, but he has to disperse. He was corroded. Cdew is deep, so he couldn't get inside there, and the Disperse has now expired. So big damage could be coming in here onto Talbadar. He is impacted. There's a full blind onto Tenderloin. He has no trigger. Is he going to get sapped off it? Because Talbadar could go down. There's a nice life grip, though, denying that sap. Sheep does land, though. Can Talb get the MD? It doesn't look like he's trying to land the mind control, but he's just going to go down.
Wow, that was really rough, man. That polymorph on the Cdew is really what sealed the deal. I'm going to begin this in 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go, guys. RMP is up one game against the Shadowplay right now. This is a definite grudge match. Both teams hate the other. They've insulted them publicly on forums and on Twitter. They even tried to throw eggs at their cars and stuff. And that you got to have a pretty strong arm to throw eggs from the U.S. to the EU and vice versa. But these guys can do it.
Yeah, they definitely can. So we will see what the opener is going to be here from this RMP. They're going to open up straight onto Tenderloin. There's the blind on Talbadar. He's going to trinket that, throwing out the death, trying to death the poly. Sounds coming out onto Xandyn. He's actually just going to trinket that. Kuna's dancing, though. He's into a Howl of Terror. He's doing a lot of damage to Tenderloin, though, down to 30% HP. The shield does come in. Smoke Bomb going down. Kidney Shot used. There's the Ring of Frost as well. If this lands onto Cdew, which it does, he could get shattered off it.
Yeah, and a Frostbolt did go off, but he got knocked out of that, either from just being hit too much by the Rogue, probably. But, they didn't really force that many cooldowns out of Cdew. I guess it's not over yet, so I really shouldn't get ahead of myself. But, he's dropping Stoneclaw. He's even purging right now, sparing the globals for that. It looks like he should be okay.
That grip got Nova, though. That's so bad, and now he's in so much trouble. He is going to get corroded. There was a Nova on that life grip. On whether it's intentional or not, Talbadar is going to be stuck into that sheep. Cdew has to trinket to get him out of it, and now, Cdew's in so much trouble. The Shadow Fiend is popped on him. He's trying desperately to make his kicks.
Zunniyaki also taking a lot of damage. He had a trinket, a coil, and then he got silenced. He's down to 29%, 22%. He's probably going to be able to pick himself up behind this pillar. But, Cdew, he still has Nature Swiftness and Spirit Link. Like I said, man, not too many cooldowns were used. That Frost Nova on that grip was incredible, though. Talbadar having to disperse because he doesn't have a lot of mana. And then another Garrote onto Cdew. Looks like they're just going to train him into the ground this game.
And he's stuck in a full kidney shot. There's the bomb. Talbadar can't help him out whatsoever. Snutz is going to run in there, try to go for the fear, but he tried to decide to fake it. And now there's an NS coming out. There's a Divine Hymn from Talbadar, but is going to be enough. That does get interrupted. So, Tenderloin is into a fear. He's going to have to drop that Tremor Totem. Link comes out. All the cooldowns have now been blown. It's important to note that Talbadar also has no disperse, so it could go onto him with a hard swap. But Khuna at the same time, fully dotted up, is just going to decide to cloak, keep the pressure going, and indeed here is the swap onto Tal. They know he has no disperse. If there's any CC available for Tenderloin, he definitely could be able to get a kill.
Yeah, man, he's stuck in that full kidney right now. Cdew actually doing decently on mana after being trained for so hard. He's at about 55%. Zunniyaki at probably 60%. It's a pretty even fight right there. Talbadar throws out a big fear onto Xandyn. Xandyn doing great pressure this game, doing incredible damage. And now Snutz
in a full fear, though. Khuna could be in some trouble. Remember, he has no cloak. There's no pain suppression available either. And Zunniyaki's still stuck in that fear. There's coax out of it. Nice job by Snutz, delaying the return. And there's a disarm onto Khuna, but he is going to catch some heals, get topped off. Snutz is going to have to port back up top, but he's in a good spot. Cdew is as well. Cdew's just been so far away from the team. If you look, he's positioned in the center of the bridge. He's getting a drink, and no one is there to stop him. So it looks like he's just going to drink to full mana because no pressure is coming into this RMP. Khuna is going to get away, trying to re-stealth here, but we will see. Cdew picked up the eyes, so he will be able to pop him out of stealth.
Yeah, and Xandyn's pet actually died. He did resummon one, but that's going to be on cooldown for a little while now. He hasn't used a block, which means he probably won't cold snap for another pet in the event that this one dies, but not unless they know they're going to get a kill. It isn't always smart to do that, but it's pretty situational. There's a counterspell from Xandyn. Looks like Talbadar is actually going to get Ring of Frosted, but no, he does get out of it.
Oh, but a big shatter coming into Talbadar. He is danced on by Khuna. Xandyn's over here with his cooldowns up. He does get feared off by Snutz, so nice shot by him. Xandyn's going to trinket that, just going hard onto Tenderloin. I think he got kicked on that. He's interrupted. He has no NS. He has no link. He might just go down here, catches a shield from Talbadar. Talbadar is going to have to throw out the palm as well, but he is impacted, and Tenderloin's just being trained away on. He's taking so much damage. You see even more support coming to Talbadar, trying to do his best. Zunniyaki is fearful on his inner focus. He did trinket into another fear. Nice shot by Snutz. Snutz is blinded, though. Can't help out his team right yet.
This is rough, man. All trinkets are down for the RMP, though, so maybe if they could get one big Howl of Terror, it'll let Cdew pick himself back up, and then I want to see them go really hard onto Zunniyaki. I feel like that's one way they can get a for sure kill. He doesn't have too many cooldowns. Pain Suppress is coming back up pretty soon, though. He does have his Desperate Prayer and his Barrier, so I lied when he said he doesn't have a lot of cooldowns, but Talbadar is actually mind spiking right now. Snutz is doing his best, man, but it's so hard when you have such an offensive team. You really got to spend time peeling, and
It's important to note, though, Cdew now has his trinket, and his NS just came back up. Link is going to be available shortly again, too. So there's the Shadow Dance from Khuna. They got to get something done here. They're going to go hard on the Snutz. He has no trinket, down to 50% HP. There is no CC just yet on the Tenderloin. Snutz is going to swap to that Demon Armor. Good choice, because he's down to 24% HP, catching that Soulburn Hellstone, trying to bait his opponent Khuna off the edge, but he doesn't go for it, so he just jumps down, pours back up. They're going to try to get the pressure rolling on Khuna, who is at 60%. Tenderloin has that mana advantage because they allowed him to drink like 60,000, 70,000 mana.
Yeah, that's a rough situation. Zunniyaki did actually just dispel a UA, and it looks like he's going to be getting hit right there. Talbadar stuck in a deep freeze. He might be able to free cast into Zunniyaki, actually. Zunnyaki's in a little bit of trouble, man. He's got full dots on him. Xandyn sitting in a Hex, and a Frost Shock onto Khuna just being kited by Cdew. Zunniyaki then gets Death Coiled at 55%. He uses an Inner Focus, but he gets feared at the end of it. What an incredible fear by Talbadar right there. A Polymorph gets casted, but it does get dispelled instantly.
Zunniyaki the spell lock and the silence, though, so he should be able to cast here. If he's going to be able to get something off, he might be able to live. He's casting that Flash Heal. Great fake there. It's going to keep him alive for now. Tenderloin is being trained right now, but not much damage coming out. There is a Shadow Dance now popped by Khuna. He's going to be trying to get something going. The Garrote followed up by the Kidney. Chatter does come in. Tenderloin has to Trinket. Frostfire Bolt following that up. Remember, he does have his Link available now. He doesn't have NS. He doesn't have Trinket, though, and he might just go down here. Link coming out, but are they going to be able to get in? Yes, they are. There's a Mind Control onto Khuna. Nice job by Talbadar. It is going to be purged off, though, and look at Talb. He's at 50%, 40%, 30%. He's going to be the target here. Does he have Disperse? I don't know. He's down to 20% HP. The Smoke Bomb goes down. He's kidneyed. He has to Disperse at 10%. There's a Trinket or something used. Blind full onto Tenderloin. He's going to be stuck in this, and Disperse has ended, so Talbadar desperately tried to kite out of there. He needs to get away. He needs to land his Flash Shield, but he does get kicked on. He tries to pop a Hellstone, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Silence coming out onto Xandyn. Fear landing on both of Khuna and Xandyn, so it's barely going to be enough to keep Talbadar alive.
You know, Khuna actually blinded the nature swiftness of Cdew, and then it got dispelled, so I'm very surprised that they lived with such incredible CC right there. Talbadar really spamming his dispels, trying to get some dots going right now. He tried to death on Poly, but it's actually on Cdew, and now Talbadar down at 30%. He's probably going to go down here. I don't think there's an answer for it. He's trying to heal himself. He gets kicked, so he starts mind controlling, and that's really the only thing he can do. He does get the mind control off onto Khuna,
but is it going to be enough? Because there's a deep freeze onto Tenderloin. It's going to be MD by Talbadar, though. He's trying to go for that Flash Shield, stuck into that full Kidney. There's another Smoke Bomb. Tenderloin isn't able to get in just yet. He's running in desperately, but there was a Hex used on Xandyn, so not that much damage came out on that Smoke Bomb. Awesome defensive play by Tenderloin, being able to get that Hex off there, but Water Elemental is back up, so there's going to be a lot of damage coming out of this Mage. He's going to have the fingers available, and Cdew's pretty much Zunniyaki is as well, though, so what's going to happen here? I'm not sure. Xandyn is going to be the target. It looks like Snutz is trying to get something going.
Yeah, man, this is a rough situation for both teams right now. You know, they did do really well against Talbadar and Cdew right there. They forced a lot of stuff, but their entire team is at 100% now, this Shadowplay team. And there's another deep onto Talbadar, but it's a Garrote onto Cdew and a cheap shot onto Cdew. He's going to take a lot of damage. He gets an Earth Shield up right before the Kidney shot.
Kidney too, and he's stuck in the middle of the Ring of Frost. The Big Fear comes out, though, and no one can remove it, so Xandyn could be in some trouble because Zunnyaki's stuck in that full. Xandyn's down to 30% HP. He's going to be blinking away. He's trying to get some damage in on Tenderloin. They don't want to let him recover because Manatide is back up pretty shortly here, I do believe. But NS is coming up soon too. Tenderloin now has his Trinket available, but he's so low on mana. If a burn was able to come in or something, but Xandyn might just go down here, down to 25% HP. He's in double death range. Catching that Penance, though, is going to pick him back up. CS did come out, and Tenderloin now down to 20% HP. He's going to have to Trinket at 10% HP. Pops the Tremor. Talbadar, though, can't help him out whatsoever. He has no mana. He throws a shield, but that's all he has. The NRS comes out from Tenderloin, but he's completely tapped. He's getting trained. He's stuck in that Nova. Can't even dispel himself.
Talbadar actually has to disperse for mana right there. Not even when he's getting hit. And now Cdew, I'm sorry, is actually incredibly low on mana, 50% HP. And this RMP looks like they're just going to tunnel him until he hopefully dies. And now Xandyn is taking a little bit of damage. He throws a deep onto Talbadar. There's a Garrote onto Cdew. He's unable to dispel it. We have to see some peel coming from
he's definitely going to go down here. I feel there's a full Kidney shot, 10% HP. Mind Spike's coming in. That's the kill. Tenderloin will go down, and this Shadow Play is going to be falling to 0-2.
2, 1, go.
So it's going to be Snutz on the Warlock, Talbadar on the Shadow Priest, Tenderloin on that Resto Shaman going against Zunniyaki on the Priest, Xandyn on the Mage, Khuna on the Rogue from the RMP. We see MDs coming out, but Talbadar does get sapped. Are they just going to open up on this Tenderloin? I do believe they will. There's the cheap shot onto Tenderloin. Xandyn coming in here, dropping down that Frost Orb, throwing out the Ice Lances. A nice Psychic Scream comes out. We see trinkets from both Zunniyaki and Xandyn. Instantly, there was a Fear Word, I believe, on Khuna, so he was able to sit through that. Blind coming out on Talbadar, going to force the trinket there. Snutz had to trinket a Psychic Scream, so already, every trinket is pretty much gone besides Khuna's and Tenderloin. We see a Shadow Dance going to be coming out of Khuna. He's going to drop the Smoke Bomb as well. He's going hard onto Snutz. Snutz might just go down here, 20% HP, 10% HP, 5% HP, 4% HP, and Snutz is gone.
Wow, man, and that's going to be a quick 3-0 victory. Avril Lavigne, Girlfriend is my final choice, but that really was a quick game, man. That happened in about, actually, looking at the timer now, it's just now at 52 seconds. That was one of the fastest games we've seen, and now Team EG with Snutz is actually going to have to go down into the loser's bracket, and hopefully